Hello again, all my fishy friends, and welcome back to another Stay Fishy adventure. Today I have a really fun one in store. We're going on an adventure, we're headed east, and we have a lot of stuff in store for today. I have a lot of different ideas. Of course, scatterbrained is normal, but no good day out on an adventure starts without a Bloody Mary. So we're gonna go in here and get a Bloody Mary. We have to stop at a special store to get some supplies for what we're gonna be doing today. So stick around. This is gonna be a really neat adventure. We're gonna be doing some stuff we haven't done before here on Stay Fishy. So let's go do it. Cheers. The ultimate test for the Bloody Mary is how's the garnish. We got some cheese stuffed olives. I'm in. Talk about getting your vitamins. All right, we've made it to the river. Piece number one of this episode, and we got our flies. But I'll show you guys what we're gonna be fishing with here. So again, like I mentioned before, this is a salmon fly hatch, and a salmon fly is a very specific kind of bug that's very, very common on the West Coast. But the fun part of this fishery is that they are only out for a very short period of time, like up to 3 weeks to a month. And it's all due to water temperature and air temperature that makes these bugs come out of the water and go onto the grass blades and onto the trees and hatch off, and the fish go absolutely nuts for them. So I'm gonna get my waders on, I'm gonna get my fly rod out and get set up, and I'm gonna go over these bugs. Then we're gonna go find some of the real things on the bank here and show you guys really what we're looking for. Well, first forgotten item of the day, wader boots. Good thing I've been through this before. Gonna have to improvise here, everybody. That ought to do it. It's actually odd how well they fit. Obviously, I've made this mistake before. What do you think? Just new boot goofing. You said it. Okay, let's go fishing. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna go with a 10-pound test, which might be a little heavy. And I'm using fluorocarbon here, which isn't exactly what we'd always want to use. Fluorocarbon tends to sink. For those of you that don't know how some of the lines work, monofilament tends to float a lot better than fluorocarbon. We're fishing a dry fly today, so we want our stuff to be floating on the surface as good as possible so that fly stays on the surface and those fish can see it and come up to it. So I'm just going to do the old loop, swoop, and pull, thread my line through here. And I'm using 10-pound test because there's big trout in this river. This is just one little part of today. So we're gonna do some trout fishing here for a little bit, and then we're gonna hit the woods and find some ingredients for this incredible meal that I have planned for you guys. I'm sure you saw it on the thumbnail of this video, but I'm doing a burger with a stuffed morel on top of it. And so if you have any sort of taste in the world, you're gonna wanna stick around and see that. So you'll see, this is a slight resemblance. This is a golden stone pattern. And these things are pretty crazy flies because they're so big. A lot of dry fly fishing, of course, as some of you may have seen out there. If you've ever watched any fly fishing videos or anything, they're usually tiny, like microscopic. Like you almost can't get the line through it. But I'm using this big bastard today because it's going to stay up on the surface. That foam's going to keep that bug afloat, and it's going to allow those fish to key in on it and come to the surface and eat it like they are all the natural bugs. So I'm going to get this thing tied on, and then we're going to go find some real salmon flies and show you how these things are actually mimicking them. And I can see a ton of them flying around today, so I'm pretty excited. This is one of my favorite styles of fishing and one of my favorite places, the desert. If you guys haven't been able to tell already, I love fishing in the desert and just being out in the desert, whether it's a high desert or a actual desert, you know, like in the Southwest. But it's just a really neat place to interact and to spend time outdoors, and especially if it has to do with water, because there's so much life revolved around the water out in the desert. So let's go find us a real salmon fly now. Okay, so as we're getting closer to the water, I'm gonna start looking for these actual salmon flies. And again, these things live on the grass, on the edge of the water and on the edge of the banks, because that's what they're hatching out of. They're coming out of these rocks that you're seeing here. We'll find some of the stone flies that are actually in the water first to kind of show you. Maybe there's some over here. They're usually not too hard to find. Just give me a second here, everybody. I'll try to find one. So here's one right here, actually. And this one is actually still alive. So no, it actually came out of it. So this is their little cocoon. They actually are disguised as little rocks almost. You can see very, very interesting little cocoon form. And then they actually come out onto the bank, crawl up into the bushes here, and hatch out into these little salmon flies from their stonefly larva is what they call it. So let's see if we can find it. Should be anywhere here. Oh, here we go. Here's the butt end of one. So you can kind of see that shell. And that's that like exoskeleton that they hatch out of. So I'm gonna try to find a really good one that actually gives that like perfect shape of it. But let's keep going here. Well, no less, I see my first salmon flies. You can see them here. You can see them all up in the grass. Look at, they're having a little good time. Excuse me guys, I'm sorry. I know you're having fun. I don't blame you. It's one of my favorite things to do too, but I gotta show you off to the world. So these are salmon flies, guys. And look how big they are. They're the most creepy, biggest, gnarliest, grossest bug you've ever seen that doesn't bite. Just look at these things. Aren't they neat? So you can see that resemblance now, especially with that fly like that, with like that wing, like that fish is flying. So in the name of science, let's toss this thing in the river. See if we can see him get eaten. Floating. He's float. Oh, he crawled out. He crawled out. Let's knock him back off. I'm knocking him back off. There he goes. Okay. We're watching him. Watching him. Oh, one went after it. Oh, he got him. He got him. I don't know if you guys can see that, but just on the other side a little, a fish ate that fly. Let's do that again. Oh, we got him. Yep. Super, super cool. I love that. And that's a really cool way to investigate whether or not there's any fish in that little area. So that being said, let's see if we can catch that fish. I'm gonna flip this fly out right in front of me, right in that current seam. I'm gonna let it float. Nope, too fast. I'm gonna be a little closer this time. He didn't want the artificial, so we're gonna go back up. I'm gonna go upriver just a little bit and start working this little brush slide right along the grass where all these bugs are falling off of. Okay, so we have this really neat little outcropping. We got the grass up there, as you can see, in this rock. That's a great little feeding lane for these trout. And the cool part is you can sneak up on these fish because they're looking upriver. These fish are actually staring up and ahead of themselves, looking for that bait coming down. So you can almost get right on top of them and target these things like this. So there we go. Step it in there. I need to go a little further. There he is. Oh, I missed him. I missed him. You go a little further this time. That one's gonna get him. Oh, got him. Damn it. Right on the drop. I might have stung him that time though. Oh, that was cool. Oh, he went out there on the end. Okay, guys, this is going very well. Darn it. Okay, we'll try to get it right in the base of that grass there. There it is. That's some cast. Oh, he went out there. Eat it again. Oh man, hit it right on the fall. That's the cast. No, he didn't want it that time. Missed it. Oh, this is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm gonna work this outside seam this time. Well, I think I stung that one. I'm gonna work my way upriver just a little bit and get into some fresh fish. Ooh, I see a spot. I see a spot. I'm gonna get out on my perch. Oh, there he was. Dang it. Dang it. That one smashed it. I gotta be quicker than that. Like the old Geico commercial. Gotta be quicker than that. I don't want to get my shit kickers wet. I'm taking them off. The boots are off. The boots and the gloves are off. We're going in. Come on, right there. Oh, got him. Oh, dang it. I watched a really nice one feed up here a minute ago. I think it might be time for a bug change. Got him. I got him. Oh, oh, he came off. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, right when I quit paying attention. Right when I let my guard down, I couldn't really see my fly. I was just kind of lollygagging, if you will, and I got the first real red side of the day on my line. And he's gone. I never really got a hook set in him. Oh, there he was. I think I found my bug, everyone. I think I found my bug. This one's almost is a little darker color. It's kind of sitting a tad bit more submerged in the water, which might mean something for this afternoon bite. We're here kind of in the heat of the day, which isn't always the best for fly fishing, especially when you're dry fly fishing. You want those bugs to be kind of pressed down on the water by the barometric pressures. Right? Oh, I got him! Whoa! Oh, I got him, everyone. I got one. Finally, the 2 times I quit paying attention. It's the no look bite. It's like the wee bite in the last episode. I was sitting there going to the bathroom and I got my first fish of the day, and look at this one. Just a beaut. She's a beaut, Clark. Wow. Cool. Beautiful little rainbow. Look at the interesting colors on that thing. It's like a mix between a West Slope cutthroat and a rainbow. You can see how it has no spots up on the front here. Doesn't have any of that cutthroat look to it on the bottom there, but definitely a very, very beautiful rainbow. What do you think of it, littles? It's not big enough to bark at. And we're not eating any of these today. We're gonna go forage for some other food today. We're making a self-foraged burger tonight. Every single thing but the bun that we're gonna be using is gonna be homemade and hand foraged. So we're gonna let these little trout go. Let them go live another day. That was cool, everybody. Finally, a little hard work paid off. We're gonna get another one here. Just stick with me. We're gonna get another one on this bug. Got him. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a party now. Woohoo! We're doing it, everyone. We're doing it. Oh no. Camera guy fell in. We're gonna have to put that in the episode, everybody. Poor Alex, camera guy, just took a spill. But I got a fish. Oh man, another pretty little rainbow. Not the biggest fish in the river, but he's ours. Later, bud. All right, everybody. Well, that was a really fun time. I don't want to run out of too much daylight. We started the day kind of late today, and we're going to be doing some cooking later this evening. So I want to make sure that we get all of our things for our recipe, and we're going to have to go forage for these things. So mission accomplished. Check that box. We caught some fish on a dry fly, and we will definitely be back doing this. I want to see some comments below on what you guys think of the fly fishing stuff. I know it's one of my very favorite ways to fish, and I know it's kind of world renowned to go fly fishing. A lot of people, it's something that they'd be interested in, and I want to hear your guys' comments on what you think of this style of fishing on these floaty little bugs. This was a lot of fun, and we can definitely be back. I had some things in the making for coming back out here and doing some multi-day fishing trips where we fish like this the whole time and camp and survive out on the river by ourselves. So comment below on what you guys think of that, and I'm gonna put my boots back on, go with new boot goofing once again. Let's get in the hills. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are off the water and in the woods, and we are going to look and forage for some natural edibles to create this burger. My real goal is to find a big giant morel that we can stuff with all kinds of cheeses and all kinds of stuff and put on top of a big fat greasy elk burger. The other goal is to forage us up a little spring mix salad. There's a lot of natural edibles out here and some really delicious herbs that we're going to be able to pair together, make a little dressing. And it's something I definitely would recommend a lot of you try if you can identify these in your local area. Bring them home, and it makes one of the best salads you'll ever have in your life. And it even tastes a little better because you got it yourself. So we got our bucket, we got our pickaxe because we might find some rocks as well. Let's start walking and see what this day brings us. So we're out in a burned area, and that is some of the most prevalent places to find morel mushrooms. We've talked about it in past episodes, and I've had a couple incredible pics on camera here, so go back and watch those videos after you're done watching this one. But one thing I wanted to point out today is we're further along. It's June 1st today, finally. It's finally June, but it's still not summer. It rained about an inch last night. But you can see, as the season has come along, how much greenery and how much natural life is starting to come back to these burned areas. Obviously, we have the burnt trees. We have dead trees, we have living trees, and fire is actually incredibly healthy for the environment. Not all the time when it completely tears down a forest and wipes it out because it gets so hot, but these partial burns like this can be really healthy for the forest and for the wildlife around here, mainly because of the new growth it promotes. So you can see a lot of these different shrubs, a lot of these different beautiful flowers, and the crazy thing is, in this area in Oregon, a lot of it is edible. So that's one thing that we're going to focus on today, is finding those natural edibles, identifying them, and then hopefully taking a few home. Such a unique time of year to be able to come out here and see all the blooming. We've had an incredibly wet spring in the Northwest, and it has caused for some of the most beautiful flowers I've seen in my life. I've been running around in these hills for forever and seeing these things bloom, but this year in particular has just been mind-blowing for how many and how abundant all the species are. That was lupin I just showed you. These are what are called mule's ears, a beautiful yellow sunflower. But my favorite one of all is right over here, and I didn't even see it to begin with, and it's the paintbrush. I'm awfully colorblind, so this is a hard color for me to see, but just look at the vibrance of this. Just an absolutely beautiful flower. And these things don't last long. I think that's the most special part of it, is that these flowers only stick around for a couple of weeks, and then the weather or the heat usually kills them off and makes it so you can only enjoy it for that short amount of time. But here is our first edible. It's going to be our first ingredient for our salad. This is a member of the purslane family, and I call it minor-citus. It has a couple of names, but this is a very sweet and delicious spring green, basically, that comes out of the ground. You want to get them with a little less flowers than this, more of just these little cups, but I'm going to find some that are a little more fresh and in the shade, maybe in some water, and harvest a good amount of these to go into my salad. So that's what that is. Let's find some more. Oh my God. I just found the coolest crystal ever. Look at this, everybody. I saw this from a distance and nearly pooped my pants. Wow. We're gonna take this down to the creek and clean it off here in just a minute, but that is absolutely gorgeous. Look at all those crystals. And you can tell this thing was like a whole shell, which is why I brought my pick and my lapidary tool, so I could dig a hole in here and try to find some that haven't been burned and broken open by the fire. A lot of times with minerals that sit on the surface, when a fire burns through an area, it gets too hot, and there is moisture present inside of these things, so it gets hot, it breaks open, and it becomes a beautiful little table piece like this. So we'll take this down to the creek, clean her out, see what we really have here in our hands. Find number one. Yes. Okay, found another one. This one's a bit smaller, but show it has this weird like arrowhead shape almost, and you can see this thing's like nearly iridescent. This thing is all made of quartz, and it's very light, so this is gonna have to be cut open with that other thunder egg I recently found. It's like Christmas morning when you finally get these things on the saw and in the vise and see what's inside of them. So they make great gifts. I love giving them to people as medicine. They are truly healing little gems. Just look at the way that fits in your hand. It was meant for me. All right, everybody, goal number 2 has been accomplished. I don't know if you can see them. We're gonna play find the morels here. So you guys can see them. It might be a little far away, but this is the perfect cover. See, that's like dark, kind of grim looking area. It's got this like red hue to it, and that's a lot of the things falling out of the trees. A lot of these mushrooms are growing really depicting on what kind of tree cover they're in, what kind of feed they have on the ground from those trees. So if you look right over there, I'll give you a second or two. We're pretty far, but they're right there. And that one looks big enough to stuff. Let's go pick. That one is going to be the perfect stuffer for what we were looking for. Yum. Yum, very fresh, very nice, very tasty. This one's dehydrated a little bit. Probably leave that. That's the key when you start picking these mushrooms. Bad ones, they're just like apples or any kind of fruit. The bad ones will make the rest of them go bad. So you really want to leave those bad ones out there and only pick those fresh, nice ones. Even if it is your first mushroom, sometimes it's better to just leave those out there and let them start spreading their spores, and more good ones and fresh ones will start to grow. So, oh my God, look at the size of this bad boy. This one's a stud. This one's a stud field mouse over here. Incredible. Look at that hog. That's gonna go good on a burger. Okay, we found a good healthy amount of mushrooms for our recipe. Now it's time to get on our miner's lettuce. And you guys can see I got in the shade, a little bit more of a moist area. We're actually only like 50 feet from where we started finding these mushrooms, which is a very moist and dense area in the shade on a north facing slope. So it's gonna have a lot higher quality of any of the foliage because it's the more moist one and it's not getting as much sunlight throughout the day. So, boy, my face is getting dirty. That's what happens when you're out here in the woods. But here we go. Let's get to picking. I'll grab this stuff right by the root. Bucket of rocks. And now a bucket of greens. One more mushroom. Can't leave any soldier behind here. These things are going to stop growing here soon. But I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to find some in the high alpines as we start venturing into the mountains here in the next couple of weeks, doing some different videos where we're up in the mountain lakes, which is my favorite time of year. I have a feeling the mosquitoes are going to be really bad this year, so we'll be on the lookout for that. But this is absolutely my favorite time of year as that snow line starts to recede. We start to be able to get into areas that have been closed off by snow line all winter long, and now we get to go to our favorite places in the world, the mountains. So be on the lookout for some of those new videos coming out, you guys. And I want to see some suggestions on maybe regions or places you want to see me go, and maybe some challenges that you want to see done. I think we're going to be doing a lot of kayak camping this year, as well as a lot of truck camping, and I'm proud to announce my newest idea that we're going to be doing on the next few videos. Probably do like one a month is my goal to do with these videos, but I'm going to try to find the most beautiful and epic campsite in the Northwest this summer. So there's going to be like a grade system that I'm going to come up with. We're going to find places with like 1 with the best view, 2 with the best water, 3 with the best fishing, and then just kind of go through those categories of grading these camp spots. And then by the end of the summer, when it's all over, we'll do a huge vote throughout the audience and see what you guys thought was the very best episode of all. And so stay on the lookout for that. They're going to be very fun. I have some really cool mountaintops and some really neat places in mind to show you guys. And I'm very excited to bring you along on these experiences because they're places I've spent my whole life looking for. And I found them over time, and I can't wait to let other people enjoy them with me and get to see this great world we live in. So I'm going to pick these last few mushrooms. We'll head back to the truck. And we got a couple more wild edibles to get before we head home. So next thing on the list, we're gonna pick some wild celery for our salad. And this is gonna add a very nice sweet taste to it, very wholesome flavor. And that's what this stuff is right here. The natives around here, my good buddy Will, who showed me how to pick this stuff, calls it kumsi. But it is actually just a natural celery. We call it wild celery. But you can tell the difference by which ones are good by this really bunchy top to it. This one here has this super tight group at the top end of it. These ones here are a little more spread out. And that's just the male and female of this plant. You only want the females because they're going to have that flavor and they're going to have that seed. And that's what's going to give us our amazing taste. Strip that stuff off. I can't wait for this dinner. We've been working hard out here today, packing buckets of rocks around and stuff. So this is going to be a delicious piece to go with it. I'm going to pick a few more. Let's get back on the truck and find our last little bit of ingredient. All right, everybody, our last but not least ingredient for this recipe, this one's gonna go into our salad as well, is what we call watercress. And this is an absolutely beautiful and incredible spring that comes out of this canyon. I've known about this a long time. It's on a friend's property, so I snuck back in here. I'm gonna take a quick drink of water because it has been a long, dehydrated day. And you guys would not believe, the source of this spring is about 100 yards up this hill, and this constantly runs. It's actually some of the most pure water around this area. It's been bottled quite a few times, but it is just the most delicious and cold water ever. But in the middle of this spring is all this watercress, and the watercress is a very, very nice spring green. and it has a wonderful flavor. It's very, very sweet, and it has kind of a, if you guys have ever been to the store and bought a spring mix in the store, which is one of the salads that has the arugula and the spinach and the different things in it, it tastes just like that spinach. It's actually very sweet, has a very wholesome flavor, and a little bit of a kick and a spice to it. It's wonderful on any sort of egg dish or breakfast dish. But tonight we're gonna mix it with our miner's lettuce and a couple other things and make ourselves a homemade salad that you guys have foraged with us here today. And I cannot wait. So I'm gonna grab a few handfuls of this stuff, rip it right out. Look how wonderful that looks. Okay. Should do it. Something to be said about eating food that, one, not only tastes good, but makes you feel good, and especially feel good at heart. When you get to forage your own food, it makes every meal taste that much better, and especially if it's with fish. You know, being able to go out and harvest these natural edibles like this is something that I take special to my heart. It's taken me a long time to figure out, so if you want to go out and do this by yourself, be sure to do some research. Look into what you're actually picking and eating, because there's things like this all over the country, all over the US, all over the world that you can actually go eat. So I am incredibly happy with how today went. So let's go back to the house. Let's get to cooking. Roll me now. Okay, everybody, we made it home. It's time to make a delicious hand-picked meal. This is what we have to offer tonight. We've got our morel mushrooms, watercress, miner's lettuce. We have our elk burger. And we are going a little off topic with some goldfish, because we have to make my special burger recipe that all you need to know. The only other thing we haven't handpicked is our sesame seed buns by Franz, but it's a local company, so we'll give them support. It basically matters. But I'm gonna do a different little style of cooking tonight. We're gonna do an ASMR style, which I'm not gonna really talk our way through this recipe, which is unique. I haven't done that yet on Stay Fishy, where we just do a quiet sequence of how to cook this recipe, but it's been a long day. This video is already a little bit too long. So we're gonna set up the camera, cook this recipe, and I want to see some comments below on what you guys think of this style of filming, because I think it's going to be maybe a little new style. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube doing it, so I wanted to try it tonight, and let's see the comments below on what you guys think, and enjoy this recipe. And there you have it, everybody. The most naturally foraged burger in existence right now, other than the Franz bread, of course, but thank you to Mr. Franz for making a great burger bun. But I am so excited to eat this. We have some natural cheese. We have the elk burger. We have the mushrooms foraged from today and all the memories to go with it. Our beautiful garnish on top with the spring greens. And my belly is growling. It's been a long day. I can't wait to sit down and eat this. Let's do it. Here it goes. The presentation is really everything here. Just phenomenal. I like the little leaves, the little garnish of flowers that come with it. It smells incredible. The morels on top of this thing is just amazing. This is a dream come true. So many flavors, I must say. The sweet contrast with the bitterness of those spring greens that we have on top of that really make this thing all come together. The morels add a nice meaty flavor, but the elk burger and the morels taste so similar. It's kind of a blend of those together, but it is an absolutely amazing burger, and it tastes just as good as it feels. Going out and foraging your own food makes everything that much better, I feel like, and it makes for an incredible experience and a great way to enjoy Mother Nature. It's been an absolutely awesome day, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this journey along with us today. The rocks, the mushrooms, the fly fishing, and of course the amazing meal at the end of the day. Can't wait to see you guys back here next week, same time, same place. Until then, you guys stay fishy. We'll see you out there.